Okay, good morning, writers. Hello, happy Monday. Hi, Ted.
Morning. Good morning.
So, big topic today. Well, I don't know if big topic is the word. I think a topic that a lot of people feel, and a lot of people feel very often, and you can hear me right now, I'm probably experiencing it, and that is burnout. So, if somebody is feeling burnt out or recovering from burnt out, or how do we recover from burning out, what are your feelings or emotions surrounding this?
There's probably, I don't know many people that haven't felt it at some level. I've often talked about this idea that, collectively we've been through so much in the past couple of years, right? And we're still going through a plethora of things. And then you have the individual journey. And so like the people plugging in with us today on this Monday morning, some of that individual journey includes starting to ramp up a business or leaving a full-time job and trying to become a full-time writer, or trying to take their level up their business, whatever it may be. And with that comes burnout, right? So all these compounding things, I would say, like all of it's a relevant topic because we've all probably experienced some level of burnout. Now, having said that, these are things like there's no rocket science around this, right? The burnout thing. I mean, you're going to Google it and you're going to see the overlap of content around what you need to do when you're starting burning out. And I could just start listing things like watch your eating, right? Like it sounds stupid, but like we're in a rut and we're like going like this and we're going like this. We're grabbing Doritos or we're grabbing that. We're drinking 4 cups of coffee because guess what? We're burnt out and we're tired. When really what we need to be doing is hydrating. Like that sounds cliche, but this is one of those topics, Jade, for me, that there's no deep wisdom to give around it. There's getting back to the basics. And some of the basics are physical well-being. Are you hydrating yourself? Are you getting enough sleep? If you're not getting enough sleep, can you try a natural supplement like melatonin to get your butt to bed and stop your burnt out mind from spinning, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. One of the distinguishing factors I like to talk about when thinking about burnout is, are you feeling mental burnout or physical burnout or both? And then kind of separating those two and thinking like mentally, what is burning me out? It might be this relationship in my life that I'm putting all kinds of mental energy into. I need to very intentionally separate from that a little bit so I can get focused on the right things in the day. Like unconsciously, we get on these hamster wheels mentally and physically on certain things that aren't serving us well. And then all of a sudden we start burning out, right? And the other thing that I like to talk about when thinking about burnout is it has to do with our mental well-being. And I often reference the Stockdale Paradox, which is just this idea that, am I spending a lot of mental energy in the negative or overly in the positive when really I need to be realistic about what's in front of me? And again, sometimes burnout is self-imposed. So people come to me all the time and I'm like, well, who told you needed to do all that? Right? Like, did somebody tell you that was the ingredients towards getting to where you wanted to go? Because from my lens, you're doing some unnecessary things. And then all of a sudden we have to unwind the fact that we mentally, because of fear or because of some kind of thing that we had up here, we led ourselves to burning out. And again, it's something that I mentioned, that self-defeating behavior. We think coffee is our survivor. I'm using this as a hypothetical, but I'm drinking 4 or 5 cups of coffee. That's the only way I'm going to get through, when the true answer is right here. So again, Jade, I just think there's no real deep wisdom around this burnout. And I'd be lying to you if I told you I had some. But
I think there's a lot of important things that you said there. Like, so I have this thought that I've never really expressed, and that I think a lot of people think and feel that busy and stress shows that they're productive. Like, if I'm super busy and I'm super stressed, that must mean that I'm being really productive. It's showing the world that I'm doing something, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think in order to achieve anything, you need to be really stressed out and overly busy. Anybody,
so
right?
many people, badge of honor. They wear it like a badge of honor.
I love to talk about how stressed out I am because work is so busy, right? And then they get that praise for that, and then they carry on that route. And so there's that part of it. And another thing,
Can I say something to that? I don't want to lose your thought, but like you just nailed something so important. When I was a W-2 executive, I put a message out, a very strong message out to the company that I am going to applaud the employee that gets the same output in 30 hours a week. And it was so counterintuitive to everything that they had been taught. Therefore, like it's important what you just said. Like, are you self-imposing that, or is somebody else putting that on you, or whatever? Like, how can you become more efficient and therefore not burn out and get the same level of success? Like that should be a goal. Anyway, it's big.
100% agree. And the other thing too, you said about, nutrition, I learned from a Chinese healer, like this analogy that I feel like is so apt to this. And it's that we are all, and I might have used it in a previous one, I don't know, we're all pots, right? We all are these pots that constantly putting things in during the day. It's food, it's some lack of sleep, it's, whether you're exercising or not, and emotions, and you're just adding to your pot all the time. And so few of us do anything that leaves space at the top of the pot. And so by doing things like you're saying, like looking after yourself and hydrating more and all that, all you're doing is leaving room. So when the stress gets added, because it's inevitably going to happen, like something is going to happen in life that is going to not feel great and be a little bit more stressful. So that when you're adding to that, you're not overflowing, right? So what can we do to make our pots not overflow? And Ted, I don't know if that's a whole another thing next week for us to talk about, because I do think it's a really important topic that we have not touched on yet, as what everybody's doing every day for themselves.
It's a huge thing. Yeah, we got to figure out what we're doing here, right? And what we're trying to get at. As many people have probably heard me say before, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And the truth be told is, if you don't know where you're going, you're going to burn out.
Yeah.
Because you're a wanderer now.
Yeah.
Or you're going after something that doesn't really mean anything to you or whatever. And so, this isn't a whole lot different than what we talked about last week when we're trying to leave people with something to do. You got to break down your burnout. I put out there that there's mental burnout, there's physical burnout. And I want you, what the biggest takeaway I want to take from, there's just simple things that you should reinstitute. It makes me think of a client that I was on with just yesterday, true story. And this guy went away on a retreat, and what he took away, and he was feeling burnt out and the rest of it, he came back, and what he realized was, like, there was just simple things he could do to calm his mind in a day. He now works with jazz music playing in the background. And as I was talking to him on Zoom, he lifted up a candle. And he said, you'd be amazed that all I did was come back more intentionally and go, I've been running so hard and getting in front of this screen and all this, that all I did in the past week was concentrate on my immediate environment that I'm working on every day. And I put a little background music on, I'm lighting candles. I straightened everything up. And he's like, and I feel different. Mm-hmm. And so again, look, that might not be for you. Like, I don't have candles lit today, but my point is, there's stuff right in front of you that you're not doing that will either eradicate some of the burnout, but also protect you from burning out again.
Yeah. And I do also think that there's a part of you that also has to be honest with yourself, because I feel like workflow can sometimes go like this, and it's not always linear. And if you are launching a brand new business, and if you are going after like a brand new career as a copywriter, that's your flow is going to be up, right? You are going to be a bit more busier. Things are going to be a little bit more harder until you are over that learning curve. And I think that is just something to be honest and prepare yourself. And you can prepare yourself for that.
I'm giggling because you nailed it. Because the truth be it, we could peel this whole call back. The truth of the matter is, your burnout outside of the things that are out of your control. Because you made an important point that we're all going to be thrown, like, as I often say, we deal with life on life's terms. And we will all do that. Having said that, your burnout's probably predicated on the choices that you're making daily.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's just drop it there and just, but that's the truth of it.
Okay. So the action is to, if you are feeling burnt out again, to peel that back, look at where and how you are. And then I think what's
right in front of you.
Yeah. What's right in front of you. Next week, we get into daily activities and practices that can help with just life and perhaps prevention of burnout and stressful situations. How does that sound?
Cool.
Awesome. And I want to thank Susanna again. If anybody else has things that they would like us to cover, please put it down below in the comments and we will get to them.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Awesome. Bye, everybody.
See you.